Letdowns 2011. Feet on repeat. Welcome to Feet on Repeat. I am your host, Baram C. Lansay, bringing you the broken records of today. Jump right into it. 2011, fantastic music year, but there have been some letdowns. My first letdown would have to be Cut Copy Zonoscope. And the reason why this was a letdown for me is, namely, the first three tracks on that album were just superb. Really kind of set the bar for the rest of the album, and as far as those also being the singles that were released off the album come in, you have quite a bit of expectation, and I really love those tracks, especially Take Me Out. It's an excerpt right out of the 80s, and once you progress past those first three tracks, the rest of the album just really kind of tapers off there and becomes forgettable, and it's unfortunate because it makes the album disappointing, and I guess the album set the bar too high for itself. It's a really top-heavy album and really disappointing after you get past the first three. Next disappointment, Panda Bear, Tomboy. And there had been a lot of hype regarding this album when it came out. I remember when it first leaked, lots of people on the blogosphere going crazy saying, best album of 2011. And being a fan of Animal Collective and being somewhat of a fan of Panda Bear's earlier work, I thought this could be a really great release. And, I guess jumping right into it, I noticed that it was really monotone. It starts off with these great sounds, and it never progresses into anything. It never evolves into anything. It never builds up to anything. It just kind of cruises along, and it just seemed to me a little kind of uninspired, a little blah. And my problem is that I'm looking for these amazing layers and building up or evolving into something, and it never does that. And then the vocals just sound the same on every single track. It never changes. It just kind of melts away and becomes forgettable. And that's how I viewed the album, is just really, really forgettable. So a lot of excitement going for that album. Completely fell flat for me. Big letdown. Explosions in the Sky. Take care, take care, take care. Before I get started on this one, I'm going to need a little drink. I think we all know Explosions in the Sky, great post-rock band. The Earth is Not a Cold, Dead Place. I think that quite possibly could be one of the better post-rock albums of all time. And I think what Explosions did is they just set the bar too high, really just out of their reach. And I think a lot of people knew that in their hearts for every subsequent album release after that. Is it going to be up here with the Earth, or is it going to be down here on Earth with everyone else? And I think the big thing is that we knew nothing would live up to it, but we still had that sliver of hope that, maybe an album will rival that in greatness, but it really hasn't. Each release has been kind of subsequently less and less and less. And I guess it's best summed up by the track Trembling Hand. Not a good track. In fact, a pretty bad track. They tried to experiment out of their comfort zone, and it did not work at all. And ultimately, big letdown. Next one, Tyler, the Creator, Goblin. And I'm a huge fan of Tyler, the Creator. Not Odd Future as a whole, but I am a fan of Tyler, the Creator. And I guess Earl Sweatshirt would be another fan of mine. I like them both together. I think they're electric dynamite together. And the reason why I kept coming back for Tyler wasn't the beats, wasn't features on his album from other members of Odd Future. It was his filthy, 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 filthy rhymes. I mean, he was a dirty, deep, dark, desire, fantasy. So it was really entertaining to listen to his music, and I didn't get that with Goblin at all. Disclaimers all over the place, which just ruins or kills the mood of the album. It's like, I don't actually rape people. Of course you don't rape people. You'd probably be in jail. And the big thing for me was it was just way too long. Way too long and not enough tracks to fill all that time space. And I think ultimately Yonkers just filthy track. Nothing else really lived up to it on the album. And I think that the low point was Radicals, just 7 minutes of just screaming the same thing over and over and over. And it's like, if the beat's not good, which we know they're not great with Odd Future, then what am I doing here? Anyways, big letdown. Big letdown. Blue Scholars, Cinemetropolis. Huge letdown. That Blue Scholars, Bayani, their last release in 2007, was a fantastic album. I might even say best hip-hop album ever created. You can quote me on that. The big thing for me that really bothered me about that was Bayani had meaningful lyrics, fantastic inspired beats, and just this passion. It took on these serious issues, and it was an album that really meant something, and it touched me, and I know it touched a lot of people that heard it. And then several years later, here in 2011, we get Cinemetropolis, and it sounds like a club banger album, something you'd hear in the club, and the beats are just all these synths and, sound like something you're trying to rattle trunks with, and then the lyrics just aren't quite there. They don't have the focus that they used to. It seems like Geologic, the MC, is just spewing off whatever's on top of his head, and he's a smart guy, but he's really lost that focus, and he's lost a lot of that passion too, and you can hear it in each track. And ultimately, it's just depressing, because Bayani was such a fantastic album, and this is nowhere near the same level. Anyways, Letdowns 2011. What are yours? Let me know. This was Baram C. Lansay on Feet Repeat. Goodbye.